Yo, YouTube, what is up? We are back at it again. The quick little deck tech. This deck is just blowing up all over Twitter, blowing up all over Discords, all over, and it's pretty straightforward. So I just wanted to dive into it real quick and, take a quick gander at it before maybe you dive into the PTQs, modern challenges all this weekend, and so you have an idea of what's going on. The deck's not really a secret anymore. It's kind of out and about already on Twitter, so I'm just going to do a quick deck tech on a general example, as there are so many versions. Everyone has their own take on it, so this is a general take that I got from someone who solely plays the deck, and this is their version. So ideally what it is just mono white tokens. All you're trying to do is create value with Raise the Alarms, Gather the Townsfolk, Servo Expedition, and then our big swing cards are things like Force of Virtues, which is an insane card in this style of deck. Just being able to cast it for free and flash it in are both very important. Intangible Virtue, obviously an insane card, giving all of our tokens +1/+1 in Vigilance. And then Legion's Landing. This card is very important to the deck, and I think it's highly underrated. Basically, it's a 1 mana, makes a 1/1 with lifelink, and then if you attack with 3 or more creatures, you get to flip it into a land that taps for white mana, and it creates a 1/1 for 3 mana. You can tap 2 and a white, tap it, create a vampire with lifelink. Huge, actually, in the grindy matchups where you end up getting to a stalemate and you're just putting out a token every turn, and if you have like a virtue out or a intangible or a force, then you're just swimming with like a 3/3 lifelinker with vigilance, and it's just really hard to compete with. Some of the higher costed cards are things like Venerated Loxodon, which cannot be high. It has Convoke, and then whenever it comes into play, all the creatures that you use to Convoke to cast it all get +1/+1 on it, and he's a 4/4 already, which is pretty solid body, especially when you're casting it for 1. Spectral Possession, probably one of the more important cards in the deck. Creates 3 1/1s for 3 white mana. That's all we're trying to do. 1 Secure the Wastes, just kind of a late game killer there. 4 Path to Exile, 2 Dismember, and 2 Giant Killer. This card's pretty sweet. For 3 mana instant, you can use the Chop Down feature, which is the Adventure, which is destroy a creature with power 4 or greater. Pretty huge. And then he can be put into play for 1 white, and he's a 1/2 that you can tap down creatures. Not unrelevant. He kind of does a lot. Other than that, the lands are pretty simple. We got 12 plains, 4 Sunbaked Canyons, 1 Silent Clearing. Just, it's a good number. So apparently for draws to kind of keep you going for gas wise. 2 Sheffet Dunes. This is the desert that you can pay 4 mana, sack a desert, and then give all your dudes +1/+1. And then this one's not played in a lot of lists that are being around, but this card is very important. This card is 2 and a white, and you just get to put in a 1/1 creature token, but it's just the same thing as Legion Landing. It just creates a redundancy when you get into that stalemate where you're putting out 1 to 2 tokens a turn, even without cards, and that's super important because people are going to remove all your creatures, but you're going to have Virtue up, both Virtues or a Virtue, and then you're going to be putting out a token, making a 2/2 is infinitely better than a 1/1 in terms of trying to close out the game. So but that's it. This deck is really good against mid-range decks, which is really popular in the meta right now. Very bad against big mana decks such as Tron, Titan, and then not necessarily the best against combo decks like Ad Naus and Storm and such in game 1. And so with that, our board is doing our best to try to combo that. So we have 4 Damping Sphere for all of the Tron and big mana decks. Very important. Also Storm, yada. It's just a good card. 3 Damping Matrix. This is I think this is kind of like a could be changed card, but this is in here for a multitude of reasons, but mainly for goblins, I would assume. We have 3 Auriok Champions. I think this card right here is probably the best card on the sideboard. This card will just single-handedly allow you to beat Burn or prowess, because when you have Arctic Champion out, one, you can block their prowess creature, but two, we're putting out tons of creatures and gaining a lot of life, creating a lot of tempo, which really allows us to kind of just stay ahead of the curve and not be burnt out or anything like that. 3, Rest in Peace, very important. I think this is really important because of Dredge. First of all, obviously Crabvine, but it's also really good in against blue-eye control and like band control, any of the control decks, because Mystic Sanctuary is still atrocious to play against when they start looping it with Cryptic Command and things of that nature. So I think Rest in Peace is huge against them. It creates them off a tempo because they're not really going to be playing into or thinking you're going to be putting in Graveyard Hate always, and I think it's super important. And then Containment Priest, again, just a really good kind of catch-all for goblins and Dredge and things like that. But yeah, this is the deck. This is what's going on. If you have any comments, anything like that, please let me know down below. And remember to like and subscribe. And I thank our sponsor, Mana Traders. You can get 20% off using my code down below for your first 3 months. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. And I hope we get to see some sweet results of this going on into the weekend. And hopefully see if someone like breaks it. See if there's a card no one thought of or something like that. So that's it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.